The fail is strong with these two. Warning! The following video is likely to contain multiple uses of profanity, including and especially the word fuck. This video should not, therefore, be viewed by children. It's the Wilk Report. I'm Michael Wilk, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, with a bit of reporting that I came across when I was watching one of Mary Mayhem's videos, because I kind of expected this, but not the level that I'm seeing right now, because, yeah, the blame game has already actually begun over Star Wars: The Rise of Palpatine. So let me go ahead and take you over to slashfilm.com. Star Wars: The Rise of Palpatine drops nearly 60% in its second weekend, still slightly trailing The Last Jedi. Star Wars: The Rise of Palpatine had no problem dominating the box office for a second weekend in a row. Well, yeah, that's to be expected because there's really no other movie that has that budget that's capable of competing with that. The end of the destruction of the Skywalker saga made over 2 times as much as Jumanji: The Next Level did in second place. Well, again, that's a given because Jumanji is not even in the same league. Naturally, it's not going to make nearly as much as a Star Wars movie. That's just a fact of reality. However, it's not all good news for The Rise of Palpatine because the movie saw a roughly 59% drop from opening weekend, which is larger than analysts were expecting for the blockbuster sequel. What does that mean for the future of The Rise of Palpatine box office run? For the second weekend, Box Office Mojo had The Rise of Palpatine adding another $72 million to the domestic total, bringing the gross up to $361 million in 10 days. The second weekend drop of around 59% isn't quite as big as the 69.5% drop that The Last Jedi saw back in 2017, but at the same point in its theatrical run, The Last Jedi had grossed $368.1 million, putting Rise of Skywalker behind by only $6.3 million. So now we come to Box Office Mojo because as of today, 2nd of January 2020, the movie has grossed $774,829,514. And as I pointed out in my last video, obviously what's going on here is that the movie is basically, it's going to do Batman versus Superman levels, where, yeah, it'll make money, but not nearly as much money as the studio hoped. And that's the real takeaway from this, is that this is shaping up to be a perceived flop, not necessarily an actual flop, but a perceived flop, much like Batman versus Superman. And the reason for that being is that, you know, a movie like this, you really need it to make $1 billion, because after you factor in the total budget, you know, counting the production and the marketing and distribution budget, you know, you're looking at least $550–600 million. So something like this, where the gross global box office is not quite $775 million, that's pretty anemic. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to our main article, which comes from IGN Nordic by Matt Fowler. This is posted on Monday, December 30th. It says, Palpatine's return was apparently Kathleen Kennedy's idea, which contradicts what Colin Trevorrow said. So let's go ahead and get to the article. Star Wars: The Rise of Palpatine, which is currently pushing past a $700 million global haul now, brought back Skywalker saga villain Emperor Palpatine to the story's endgame, pitting him and his final order fleet against Rey and the Resistance. Well, there is no Resistance. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, Last Jedi saw that so-called Resistance pretty much decimated. So, yeah. All right, so Colin Trevorrow, who was originally tapped to helm Episode 9, according to the article, and actually either left or was fired by Kathleen Kennedy from the project, had said that Jar Jar Abrams was the one who had the idea to actually bring the Emperor back for the conclusion. But a New Awards Daily interview with Rise of Palpatine co-writer Chris Terrio seems to shift the narrative a bit. In it, Terrio possibly credits, or more accurately blames, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy with wanting to bring back Palpatine. Kathy Kennedy and Senior Vice President Michelle Rejwan had a clear plan for where they wanted things to end. Terrio said they had clear plans about certain narrative marks they wanted us to hit. They also gave us a lot of freedom within that. We knew that Rey and Ren were utterly key to this trilogy, but we also felt that there was no way that we were going to not find a path to redemption for Kylo Ren, the son of Han and Leia. Yeah, by having him change his tune in the movie's last act. That is completely and totally pathetic as a storytelling vehicle. Because one, George Lucas in the original trilogy telegraphed Darth Vader's return to the light side in The Empire Strikes Back, and then that was continued in Return of the Jedi, where it's obvious, in the intervening period that he has undergone some more changes. He's not as devoted to the dark side as he once was, and so, it's kind of obvious where the ending is going because it's already been set up in the previous film. With this one, we got none of that. The Last Jedi saw Kylo Ren double down on his decision to become one with the dark side, and and this one it's kind of shoehorned in at the last minute. So there's really nothing here that makes any sense. That's when we really started aggressively pursuing this idea that there is this old evil that didn't die, he continued. The source of the evil in the galaxy is this dark spirit waiting for its revenge and biding its time. The entity known as Palpatine in this version, his body died in Return of the Jedi. Then how the hell is it back in this movie? You never explain it. And you treat us like assholes for expecting an explanation. Oh my god. So basically, let's continue, because I'm going to end up getting into a huge tirade here, and I don't want that right now. All right, so when asked if Palpatine had always been the plan prior to Episode 9, Terrio said, well, I can't speak to Kathy's overall intent. That was certainly discussed and was discussed before I ever came on. Kathy had this overall vision that we had to be telling the same story for 9 episodes, although from the sleight of hand of Episode 7 and Episode 8, you wouldn't necessarily know immediately that we were telling the same story. She thought it would be a very strong end for the 9th movie. This felt well with Jar Jar because he loves magic tricks. Okay, so basically, so this is full of bullshit, okay? Because it's been pretty clear based on the leaks that have come out over the past year or so. And I should keep in mind that these leaks have all proven to be true. There was never any intention to bring back Palpatine for Episode 9. The only reason he was brought back was because Rian Johnson decided to kill off Supreme Leader Snoke in The Last Jedi, and there was no plausible way to bring him back. So either Abrams or Kennedy decided, well, we're just going to go ahead and bring Palpatine back because why not? You liked him as a villain before, so like him again. Because they're completely bankrupt of ideas and they couldn't figure out a way to do what they wanted without completely fucking it up. And they fucked it up. So yeah. So then he goes ahead and says, when you rewatch the earlier films, things start to make additional sense. Well, no, they don't. Ren and his devotion to the idea of his grandfather, the voice he's always heard in his head, except you never had that happen in the previous 2 movies. At no point did you even suggest in The Force Awakens or in The Last Jedi that he had been hearing these voices in his head. Okay, we see in The Force Awakens that he's talking to the twisted remains of Darth Vader's helmet and mask, but we actually don't hear any voices. So I don't know where he's getting all this. So basically they shoehorned all of this in. And you can tell it was shoehorned in, okay? Any writer, any moviegoer who understands how narrative structures work understands that this was just shoehorned in because they had nothing else to go on. Everything had been taken from them that they were going to do by Rian Johnson, who decided to end the trilogy early so he could get to his own trilogy. So yeah, I mean, this is just completely and totally, oh my god, dude. The fail is fucking strong with these assholes, and they're too stupid to even realize it. Oh my god. Alright, so basically, what we're seeing here is Chris Terrio trying to throw Kathleen Kennedy under the bus because Jar Jar Abrams was blamed for bringing Palpatine back. And, and to the extent that he is to blame, well, yeah. I mean, it was his decision as co-writer and director. Because, again, as a director and the co-writer, or even as the writer itself, you are responsible for all of this. You could have said, no, we are not bringing back Palpatine, but Jar Jar Abrams is not original, he's not creative. All he does is recycle things that have been done before and better by other people, and he cannot finish anything. He's even admitted himself, he's not good at finishing things. He's not even really good at starting things either, but, this is basically people trying to play a game of save ass here, and it just fucking pisses me off. None of this was necessary. None of this had to happen. All of this could have been avoided, but no. Jar Jar Abrams, Rian fucking Johnson, Kathleen fucking Kennedy, Bob fucking Iger, and yes, I'm using the word fuck a lot in this video. If you missed a warning at the beginning, then I pity you, because I warned you. This would be a profanity-laden tirade here, and it's, oh my god, dude. At no point was there any intention to respect the original trilogy or to tell a good story that respected the intelligence of the fans. This is a trilogy of movies that have nothing to do with the original Star Wars saga. What they're trying to do is they're just trying to rehash what George Lucas did before and better, but pretty much undermine everything he did so that they could, pick up and say, look, oh, no, the ending that you saw in Return of the Jedi that made future cinematic sequels more difficult because then we would actually have to get creative. That's tossed out the window now. This was the story all along. No, it wasn't. You had no fucking plan going in, or if you did have a plan, it got tossed out by Rian Johnson because Kathleen Kennedy decided, oh yeah, well, I don't like setting things up that actually try to pander to fans, so we're just going to go ahead and go to the opposite extreme of alienating them because reasons. Oh my fucking God. I'm getting a headache for this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I do want to hear from you because this, oh my God. I mean, I'm having shades of Terminator Dark Fate where Tim Miller and James Cameron were throwing each other under the bus over the decision to kill off John Connor in the first 5 minutes of the movie and then basically act as though the first, the ending of the second film was meaningless. Which, I mean, it just pisses me off. So, let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm full of it? I do want to hear from you. If you like what you've heard and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever we upload new content. Like this video, share it. If you want to help support the channel, keep the lights on, and help us bring you more content, head over to our Patreon or Subscribe Star page. We can't do this without you. Until next time, this is Michael Wilk for The Wilk Report saying take care. Good night. I'm out.